everyone, Zol here. Very standard 98 EF Falcon 6-cylinder. Just give you a brief rundown on a couple of things while I was replacing the steering pump and the steering rack as well, that I didn't find on other YouTube videos, so hopefully this will help someone else as well. Power steering was leaking for reco, basically from this front seal behind this pulley, as well as from that top seal where the steering shaft sits into the power steering rack unit. So I actually, a couple of bolts, you had to loosen the engine mount to give yourself enough space to get the nut off, to get access to the main bolt that holds the steering rack there. There's another one on the other side that's easy to get to. Just unclip this pressure switch, undo this bolt, which is a splined hold, and basically the unit will drop out once you've undone the power steering hydraulic lines as well, of course draining fluids into a container. I had to also just undo that bracket that holds the lines so I could get to the lines a lot easier, but it wasn't hard. Biggest pain in the bum was just finding all the right size spanners, which are like, 16s and 19s and all that, not your standard sizes you'd expect, like your 12s and 14s. For the power steering pump, I actually reconditioned it myself. I ordered a kit through eBay, which then didn't come, and I hassled them, said they'd send it, still didn't come on time. I went down to the bearing shop after pulling this unit out and actually bought a seal and a bunch of O-rings. Cost about 20 bucks, no big deal. I'll see if I can put the part numbers up there. They were from Newcastle bearing shop at Cardiff. Basically, you have to undo this. That's easy. That was a was it 18mm. This bolt here, two 13mm bolts from inside. Now, to work on this front of the engine, just unclip the clips here and the wiring loom here, and just lift out the fan unit. It's pretty much more or less that simple. It gives you good access to get your tools in here. Also gives you access to the belt tensioner, which, by the way, is a 3/8 square drive hole. Just got to line it up properly. Give me a second. It's a bit touchy-feely, right? And then I just put a 1/2-inch bar on as a extension and push to the right, reasonable force, and that will release the tension, so you can undo, just loosen the belt off, and then everything's on Kidori. Obviously a reverse process applies when you're putting it all back together, which I have now, and just thought I'd run you through getting to that, because none of the other videos actually showed this layout. It was a bit hard to see what's going on. Just got to obviously make sure your belts are sitting in the right grooves along here, and come over the top of this idler pulley. All the grooves should face the grooves, and all the back of the belt should face the flat pulley faces. Was this bracket bolt here, 10mm. Also these two bolts I think I've mentioned before. Obviously they're low pressure return line, high pressure return line. They've got to be undone. No biggie. It was actually a lot simpler than what it sounds like. Pressing this pulley off the unit while it's all together, you need a particular tool that you wind on and pulls the pulley off using this slip. your mechanic will have it. To press it back on, you can use a similar tool, or if the same tool will do it. If not, what I actually did while I had this apart, this casting comes apart from the reservoir, and while the pump vanes were all out, I actually just hydraulic pressed gently the whole unit back together and then reassembled it, which was pretty easy as well. I'll see if I can post the pictures I took of how it worked out, but there are other videos as well that show the actual reconditioning of the pump itself elsewhere by other people on YouTube as well. So basically, not too hard, gives you a good chance to degrease everything. We're sure that's degreaser down there, and I'll give it a pressure blast and put the fan unit back in and put some oil in, and then fire it up and check for leaks, and hopefully it'll be all good. Hope that helps, and yeah, have fun. It's not as drastic as it sounds, but you do need a bit of mechanical nous and a few tools. Alright, so